Okay, this is a little embarrassing because the amount of shit I have to go through for this video. Honey, this is part 2 of my kind of 2023 favorite shit. 2023 was the year the Chinese girlies took over, with K-beauty becoming more and more natural and Doid makeup just being more, not more complicated. It's just, I don't know, the techniques is just more interesting to me. In general, I was already getting bored with K-beauty to begin with, so it was a nice change for me. Starting with base makeup. Now, the 3 liquid foundations that stood out to me this year, honey, Revlon Colorstay Longwear Makeup. There's a combination oily skin version and there's a combination dry skin version. The oily skin version is like my go-to. When I was in college, for like the 2 years that I was in college, I was shocked at how good this makeup was. You know, being a YouTuber, trying so much different shit, I stopped using this. So when I got back onto it, I was like, why did I ever stop using it? And now that it's 2023, there's even more shades. Back then, honey, it was like many shades of beige. So now there's much more shades to choose from. And besides it being long wearing and like being transfer proof and all that, I like the fact that it's not, because you know, if you've tried a lot of long wear stuff, they usually dry down like paint. This one is much more flexible and almost feels, I want to say, moisturizing. A lot of longwear makeup I prefer, but it can make my skin so like sucked up of like moisture. So this one doesn't really do anything besides last long on the skin. And it looks like skin when you put it on. So next one is another long lasting one, but this is a vegan foundation. It's from ETUDE. It's their double lasting, their famous double lasting, but in the vegan formula. The fact that it's vegan, I noticed that it doesn't stay matte all day, but it lasts all day. You do have like a natural glow at the end of the day when you wear this, but the fact that it doesn't fade away or anything, that's what I liked about this the most. So this is just like a really great go-to, like I can just rely on this, it will look good. And the color that I have in 23 N1 Sand, not that many shades in this foundation, but I like that it matched my skin really well. Another longwear foundation that is more so just like, I guess natural, it's not meant to be like matte or anything, is the HAUS Labs Triclone Skintech foundation. Now, this shit was viral on social media and for good reason. And I wasn't surprised, to be honest, because it was made in Korea. So it has obviously the really moisturizing benefits. It looks like skin. If you need it to be matte, just put powder on top of it. And I like that it plays well with powder. There's some foundations where you should let it just set by itself and not touch it really. Otherwise, if you put powder on top of it, it will mix with the foundation. It will turn into like this weird dough-like texture and will look like cakey and messy. But this one, it leaves it like a natural glow to the skin. But if you set it, it will look like a beautiful matte soft finish. I know a lot of people that watch me are American, so this is easily available in most, like every Sephora. So I've tried so many foundations, but those 3 are the ones I always reach for. Let's talk about cushions, because cushions is, I know a lot of people either like liquid or cushion. I'm more of a liquid girly, but the cushions, they're convenient. This one I just tried because it was from Daiso and I heard that it went viral, but you guys, I found myself just like reaching for it and I only discovered this like a month or 2 ago. But the fact that I keep fucking reaching for it and loving the way it looks on my skin, the Tag Velvet Cover Cushion, by the way, they finally fucking restocked their shit at Daiso. So I picked up 2 more because this looks great. Like it leaves a nice velvet finish. It looks great. Like I don't have to set it with powder or anything. Just by itself, it looks fucking amazing. It looks like real skin. But the 2 downsides, it only comes in 2 colors and I'm the darker color. They're always sold out. And this doesn't last that long. Like I found myself using all of it up in like a week. That's why when I found it restocked over at Daiso, bitch, you know I fucking bought more because it's literally like less than $5. So I took him. One that kind of took me by surprise just because I wasn't expecting much from it is this Perfect Diary Renewal Flawless Cushion Foundation. I love their liquid foundation, but there's something about their there's something about their cushion foundation that's just like giving. How do you describe it? Is it a moisturized finish? I don't know how to describe it. It's just like a satin finish, I suppose. It blends in so well. There's no patchiness. It almost looks like I'm using like a Photoshop filter sort of tool where I'm literally just doing this and wherever the puff touches, it's just leaving perfect skin. The fact that it lasts long and doesn't break down on me is an A+, because I have dehydrated skin, right? So whenever there's any moisturizing qualities in the foundation, my skin will suck that shit out and leave the pigment behind, which can mean looking dried and cracked and cakey. But this doesn't really do that. And it's such a great touch-up cushion because even if you layer it, it layers so well on top of itself. Even if what you have applied was applied hours ago, you layer it and it looks pretty good. There's some where it dries, right? And if you try to touch it up later on throughout the day, it would just look more cakey. This one doesn't do that. And of course, this one I want to mention because I buy cushions and I throw out a lot of them because I'll find one thing or another that I don't really care about, so I'll go to my other go-tos, but this one is always in my collection. It's the JUNGSAEMMOOL Skin Nuder Cushion. And just in general, I've been using this cushion for years. This is a standout cushion. It's very popular in Korea. And actually, I think there was a season of Produce 101 with the boys. I don't know if viral is the right word, but it became well known because one of the boys was sitting during the, you know, the first round of auditions when everyone's sitting on the chairs. One of them was like touching up his base, and it was JUNGSAEMMOOL cushion. But it's just a great natural looking skin-like base product. And her little foundation thing, oh my god, I'm gonna pull it out. This shit, I could have talked about this in this video because I use it all the fucking time on other people, but this one right here, there's a liquid foundation here and then a cream concealer here. She was able to take this formula and finish and put it into a cushion, kind of like this one. The more you build it up, your skin just starts to look more and more perfect, but it doesn't look cakey. Well, if you don't, this is with any base product to be honest, if you don't control the amount well, you're gonna look cakey, but with this one, it just looks more skin-like compared to a lot of other base products. The fact that it leaves such a nice, clean, hydrated look to the skin, I mean, it just looks like nice skin. I'm always finding myself restocking on this shit. So, and just like the other one, you can layer it, touch up with it, and it doesn't look cakey. It just looks like regular skin because it doesn't have that dry paint-like finish that some bases products have. I think you have to get it on the website, but it comes in a medium and a medium deep. And medium deep, I find myself using on most people. Unless you're very fair skinned, medium is a great, just like average, like I could use medium. That's like my skin tone, right? And light is kind of like if I want to look more brighter. And medium deep is great for, you know, those Koreans are like, oh, I'm tan for Korea. That's like a good color for them. Because there's a lot of guys on my channel, right? So I find myself most often using medium deep on them. Actually, nothing powder related I really felt like talking about. But there is a tool that I always use the powders that I wanted to mention. I'd be always using that triangle puff you can get on Amazon, but this brush that I found out you can get on Olive Young Global's website from Piccasso, it's the 128 brush. This shit is basically like those powder puffs, but in brush form. If there is a powder I'm gonna talk about, or I would recommend, it's this shit. It's the YSL one. Very similar to the Makeup Forever HD one. I basically just like tap into it like this. The bristles are really short down here and grow longer and longer as they go up. So it basically acts like a puff, but in a brush form. And this is great for if you want to set your face. I definitely prefer a matte finish. Puffs can be great at setting your makeup, but it can suck all the moisture out from your skin. This is great for just taking off that layer of shine oil from the surface of the skin. So if you notice the difference. But using this brush, like it's such a big brush too. The shape, the fact that it comes to a point, and the wide area of the bristles, I can set the face in like super quickly. So if you're in the market for a makeup brush, this is the one. Also another tool, which I feel is so random. You know that Revlon, that ball that you can roll in your face and sucks up the oil? Love that product. I have it myself as well. I use it quite often, but I was like, the actual surface area of the roller is so tiny. So I find myself like, it just takes a while. So I thought, you know those jade rollers? I wonder if they have like a oil, that rock that they use, that lava rock or whatever. I wonder if they have like a version of that. And they do. I found this on Amazon, and it's basically like those jade rollers, but the material is the same thing as that stone roller in the Revlon one. I love taking this with me. I literally will just, this shit sucks up all of the extra oil sitting on the, like actually. Can you see that? You see how quick that was? So quick and easy. And what I love about this is that it's reusable. All you have to do is just wash it with soap and water. Because it's a stone, literally it dries as soon as you touch a paper towel to it. So it's great for immediate, you can immediately use it again. So if you have really oily skin that apply your makeup right, looks beautiful. 10 minutes later, oil starts coming up here, right? That first layer of oil that comes out, that will be the culprit as to why your makeup doesn't last long, because that initial breakout of oil is gonna break down that makeup you currently have. So if you can catch that oil before it breaks anything down, your makeup will last so much longer. To be honest, you can really just use like a tissue. I use tissues all the time, like a Kleenex. But if you don't want to carry like a thing of tissues with you, you can take this. Your makeup is gonna look great throughout the day. I don't really have any contour highlight products, but one I wanted to point out was this Capovini one that I found on Aliexpress. This is a liquid contour product, and what I love is not only the color, it's such a good, it's not completely cold gray brown. It has a little bit of green in it, so it looks like actual shadow on my kind of neutral olivey yellow skin tone. If you're around my skin tone, this is like the perfect color. Even for me, this can be a little bit deep sometimes, so I have to be careful. If you're a little bit darker than my skin tone, I feel like you can still pull this off. I don't know if you've been watching my vlogs lately, but my nose contour be fucked up. But that's because I've been using brow powder. The skin on my nose is weird, so it doesn't like to hold on to contour really well. But this one, once you blend it and set it on your face, it's very long lasting. What I'll do is I'll take the applicator itself and I'll dot where I want to contour, so under my nose, in the hollows of my eyes, and I'll use a brush to blend it out, and it looks so fucking good. So that I highly recommend it. I also love to use it for here because it looks so natural. What I do is I'll spread it on my hand, and then I'll take this brush, which I think is meant to be a foundation brush. Looks like this from Morphe. I'll dip in, and I'll literally just stamp it like this, and I get such a nice clean like jaw contour. I don't do it often because I'm fucking lazy. Also, in real life, sometimes you can see, especially for me, because I don't have a very defined jaw, it can be very obvious. So I don't do it all the time, but it's a really great way to get a natural contour here. And because it's liquid, it just looks more like skin rather than a powder. Let's talk about cheeks. Some of my favorite blushes this year. Honestly, my most used ones, I go through different blushes I change it up all the time, but my go-tos, Girl Honey, is the year of Miss Flower Nose for me. Their chocolate series, their chocolate Wonder Shop series, it's like every item in that collection I like, so my favorite. They'll come out with blushes for every collection, but I'll have like my favorites and like the one or two that I'll use, but this one, every color I will use. For this particular collection, they have two more brownie colors and then two more pinkier colors. I'll use the lighter one as like an overall sort of color across the cheeks, and then I'll use the darker one as like a point in the center. I know I'm always shouting and like moaning about I'm a soft summer, but because my season is kind of mixing a little bit with soft autumn, I can definitely wear these. Now let's say I do want a more like cute, corally, like enlivened look, but I don't want to look orange. This Perfect Diary one, I don't know what the fuck. This, I guess you would describe this as like a grapefruit color. Soft color blush in number 1, Love Yourself. Girl, I'm finding a hard time doing that, but yeah, I don't know. I just tried this out of curiosity because I'm like, I first thought I was like, girl, that shit's gonna look too fucking orange on me. But putting it on, it's so great for like when I want to go for a more cute vibe that day and just something more fresh, like a pop of color, but not too crazy because it doesn't go too orange on me. For eyebrows, I was such a big advocate of brow powders because they come out more natural, but I've been so obsessed recently because, I mean, you don't really notice it now because I put brow mascara, but sometimes I just want to create the look of real brow hair, but I find that I can't really do that with a brow powder or even a regular brow pencil because the pigmentation is too light. But I discovered these pencils on Aliexpress, and I remember I would see these on like, before TikTok really popped off, sometimes people would upload shit from Douyin. You see those girls like drawing like the lines on their brows, like in the Z formation and filling it in. But this is basically that brow product, but the way they use it, it came out so black, but specifically the black color of this. You have to use like a knife to sharpen it, but the way you can totally get real looking brow stroke, I used that a few times, so it's coming out a little bit thicker, but if I freshly sharpen this, you can get such a literal, like if you have any empty spaces in your brows, you can draw a light stroke and it looks like you have a hair there. I know I have blonde hair and I use blonde brow mascara, but my natural hair on here is very similar to this. So I often use this to kind of fill in those gaps. It depends on your preference for how your brows look, but girl, I'll be using that for myself and everyone else because a lot of times people will like cut their brows in weird ways and get the shape wrong. So you can fill in those gaps with like other brow pencils or like brow powders, but it will look made up because when people see that, they'll see like, oh, they have brow powder on there, but they'll see that there's a missing hair there. That kind of fills in that gap of the missing hair. It does take a little bit of practice because you have to be able to be good at like using a light hand to get the stroke of the real hair. And even for me, I still fuck that shit up sometimes too, but just using that and using like a brow spoolie to kind of soften it, it will look like real hair. If you want a great everyday, if you want warm makeup, just warm browns, all that. The chocolate series 8 color eyeshadow palette in one, the Nutcracker from Flower Nose. I've never reached for a palette so often as this one for everyday. This one is just so great I use it on myself when I was going through my like warm, cute boy phase. I use it all the time on my friends when I'm doing more idly makeup. These colors are really great for everyday, and then you can use these to like deepen it up more, but just the tones of the colors is all really great, and I end up using all the shades. These 2 Kaleidos palettes, I use this all the time when I do other people's makeup to kind of boost, oh shit, did it run out of battery? If you are too scared to use liquid eyeliner, gel eyeliner, pencil eyeliner, and you find eyeshadow easier to work with, this palette I love to use. Like this black is so good for eyeliner. This one, in general, this is such a great grungy cool tone palette. But because of the black liner, I always reach for this palette because it helps either blend your eyeliner if you already have it on, or it makes a great guideline for eyeliner, or just using it to create a soft eyeliner. Same thing with this one, but just brown, a brown variation. And honey, this shimmer, the shimmers in both of them, Kaleidos shimmers are on a whole nother fucking level. Don't even fucking talk to me about shimmers unless you're gonna talk about Kaleidos shimmers, honey. Or Flower Nose. I found these randomly at Aliexpress because I thought the packaging was so cute, but these are from, what's the brand called? It's called like Colorrose, I think. Looks like this. You pull off this little lace. It opens up to this beautiful thing. And I love this one because this is the perfect palette for if you're cool tone and you want a warm look. All the colors are like more on the pinkier side, like the pinky rosy side, but just enough warmth in there to give you a warm look without looking orange. And it comes with a blush and highlighter as well, so that's good. Same thing with this. Originally this had like a handle, but I thought the handle was goofy looking, so I took that shit off, and part of the wire still in there. But this is another palette from Colorrose, and similar vibes. I guess actually this is what I used today, and I think it faded off a little bit, but it's such a great everyday, like dusty, mauve-y type of vibe. The blush is almost a little bit more warm, but it's not too warm where it'll look orange on me. Another great dusty mauve-y eyeshadow. Actually, a lot of these stuff I'm gonna recommend are great for people that just want something natural and everyday, because you find a lot of other palettes will look too much on you. This one from Lily by Red, their little keyboard palette, this, if you love ashy tones, honey, this is the one. It looks like it would be a cool tone palette at first. It's generally cool tone, but it doesn't pull too pinky cool. It doesn't pull too like warm, you know what I mean? So it's a great in-between, very, very, very neutral. Another great sort of neutral palette that has a great variation of regular, like everyday shading colors and a great amount of shimmers is this 3CE one, their Raw Neutrals palette. And this one is actually sold out for a while when I tried to first get it. It's cool toned, but it's more like it's a wearable cool tone. It's not too like cold looking, like you're not gonna look too punched in the face. Let's say you are a pink girly, like pink, you want pink everything, you're a Barbie girl. This Flower Nose one, the Swan Ballet collection, their Pink Swan palette, not only is the palette, this is a great gift to give someone, not even just someone, even for yourself, bitch. If you want to treat yourself and you love the color pink, this color story is the one. I also love that it's, compared to some of their other palettes, it's actually quite pigmented for the shade, because usually when you see these types of pinks, I imagine like a really whitish color, but if you prep your eye well, you can get a really pigmented pink out of this. And I love that each color has like a purpose. It's not just a bunch of pinks that you're only gonna use one or two. Like I can find myself using each and every color. Oh, real quick, I really want to mention this because I thought it was so useful. If you're more into like the Doyen lashes, or you're more of a lash girly, but you find strip lashes to like you find the ends are always popping off, or you feel like they're too uncomfortable, or in general, if you are into like the Doyen manga lash look, these lash books that you can get these on Amazon, on AliExpress, so convenient. They come with so many, and they're easy to pop off, and the band is so tiny and light. When I'm doing Buddy and Cherry and I'm using these lashes, beautiful manga lashes in like less time than trying to do other lashes. That was more of like an everyday style. They come in different types, right? I'll link everything down below, but this is a much more manga vibe. Now, if there's one type of makeup I'm always fucking buying, it's lip product. I have so many fucking lip products, it's not even funny. The funny thing is, I only use like a handful. So I'm going to show you the ones that stood out to me. Earlier I was telling you how in the Chocolate Shop series of Flower Nose, all the products in there are like my favorite. Their Velvet lip creams, like you cannot beat this formula. The way it literally makes your lips look like there's a filter on them. I like every single color in that collection, but I think my go-tos are these ones because there's a much more neutrally kind of vibe. Number 1 and 2. I love to use these as bases, but even just by themselves, they look so pretty to me. My lips are extremely red, so I always have to cover them with foundation first to really get the true color of the lip product I'm using, but I'll show you what it looks like on just like this state. It's this vibe. I'm putting it all over my lips so you can see the color, but more so than the color, do you see the way it smoothed out my lips like fucking Photoshop? Look at that shit. Look, oh my god. Holy. Let me show you what it looks like when I properly prep my lips for a lip color, like muting them out. Isn't that so fucking pretty? So you can imagine when I'm using like the more warm tone blush and like the warm tone eye, it just creates this beautiful, like cute, warm look. The one lip product that completely changed my life, which I discovered via a Xiaohongshu post. This girl was doing like a Xiaohongshu Douyin girl version of a clean girl look. She used this lip gloss to mute out her lip color, and I'm like, I'm always using nudie muted lipsticks or velvet lip tints to mute out my lips. Why isn't there like a glossy version of that? And I started using this and I freaked out and I was like, I need to find that. However, I noticed it was discontinued. So my ass ran to fucking eBay, stole all the whatever was left of it. It's the NYX. This is Milky Gloss in the shade, specifically Cookies and Milk. When you first see this and you pull it out of the tube, you're like, what the fuck is that shit? Like, who the hell? And when I first saw it, I was like, who the fuck would ever wear? It's always like that one lip color in the collection where you're like, oh, only brave girls would wear that. Not brave girls like the girl group, but brave girls and the girls that have the confidence to do so. But bitch, this lip color is so, like I told you, I have really red lips. I don't even have to cover my lips with foundation. This will mute my lips for me. And another function of it, let me put it on. I look sick. But another function of this, I can take a stronger lip tint color or lip gloss color on top and it takes it down to a more natural state. I have so many lip tints I don't wear because they're too dark and like pigmented and too deep for my face because my face already cannot take too much color. But let's say I have something like this, right? This is one of my favorite lip tints now that I can mix it with this. Like it's so dark for me, but with this as a base on, I'll put this in the center. This is Flower Nose, by the way. They're a unicorn lip gloss in the shade J07. Do you fucking see that? I mean, I should blend out the edge a little bit. I've been obsessed with these little squishy finger applicators from Aliexpress. These are great for both glosses and matte stuff. Did you see that? It looks so much more natural. So besides the fact that you can take down those stronger colors to a more natural state, another benefit is that it almost acts like a lip primer because I'll use a lot of moisturizing tints, right? Glossy, glowy, beautiful, moisturized looking. But me being dehydrated, my skin sucks the moisture out of that shit. So they'll be shiny from the film of the lip tint, but they'll be like wrinkly looking because my skin is just trying to suck up all that moisture. But this, it almost acts as like a barrier. Like this will pretty much last until I like either wipe it off or like I'm eating. It's not gonna be transfer proof, but I'm obsessed with the look that it gives. So like I always have this with me in my bag. I bought up all the rest that I could find on the internet. So I did find a few alternatives because obviously that one you can't really buy anymore. This first one is this Anastasia one, this gloss in the shade Deep Taupe. You're basically just looking for like a muted, kind of like murky looking nudie color. This doesn't really matter if you naturally have no color in your lips. This is just for my girlies that have really extra pigmented red lips. The Deep Taupe is a little bit deeper, just like the name, it's a little bit deeper than this one, but I find that I get pretty much the same effect. Also, this lip gloss from Kylie Cosmetics in Literally. Well, I fucking hate when names of lip products and like eyeshadows, they'll be like, Brave, Help. Like, what is that? That doesn't fucking tell me anything about the color. Again, a little bit more colored compared to the NYX one, but I find that I can still use it to the same effect. A nudie gloss. Look for a nudie gloss. So having shown you that, I want to show you some of my favorite lip combinations besides the Flower Nose one that I just showed you. My two other go-tos is this random one I found on AliExpress by Gigi Bear. This will be too dark for my lips naturally, but honey, this has been like my go-to. It gives me that kind of like natural like brownie look. Ugh. Oh, isn't that so fucking pretty? If you give this a few minutes, they settle down and really give you that glass, just drink water sort of look. So I just freshly applied, but my other go-to is this Fenty Beauty gloss in Hot Chocolate. It's the heat version. This, again, I think is meant for deeper skin tones, but honestly, I think it's like a very universal color. It looks good on everybody if you want a brownie lip color, but the combination of this and the NYX lip gloss, oh, bitch. Like this for me by itself would be too dark, but this is my go-to for kind of like warmer brownie looks that I want more, not too orangey brown, but just like a neutral brown look. And I love the smell. Look at, oh, I love it. I fucking love it. Let's end the video with this one. So those are my favorite makeup products I wanted to share with you guys for the year 2023. The girl that originally sent me that little thing in my Q&A about what am I doing like a year-end thing. I hope to satisfy you. I hope you guys have good holidays. I've been trying to vlog a lot, so more vlogs coming up. Actually, I shouldn't say that. As soon as I fucking say that, just like that person said, I'm gonna be gone for 5 months of no vlogging. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.